Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Backstage. This is the Advanced Podcast, and today we are talking about rejection, getting dumped, getting turned down, and don't take it as any personal offense, but I wanted to invite my friend Kacey to the Rejection Podcast.
Thanks, Jess. I didn't take it as an offense until you said that, actually.
Well, I know that we both have good rejection stories.
We do.
And to kind of get it kicked off, at any point in your dating career, and you are not married as of right now.
No, I'm engaged.
You're engaged. So at any point in your dating career, have you ever asked a girl out and just been completely swatted down?
Yes. This story it doesn't involve the actual ask, but all right, I'm going to set it up. So I was in college freshman year.
Okay.
My buddies and I, we had this sort of like pact where the suite mates and my roommate and I, we had to all kind of spend time with the girl we were trying to crush on, for lack of better words. And I was like, guys, I set up this time for all of us to go to cookout, because that's what you do in college. You go to cookout. It's cheap. It's awesome. Great food. This is not an ad for cookout. I just realized that. But
whoever came up with the side of a corn dog as an idea is I hope that person's rolling in money.
Perfect post-rejection food.
Yeah.
But so we were going to go to cookout. We were all just going to hang out and set the time. It was going to be like around like 9:30 or whatever.
Okay.
And it said we were going to pick her up from her dorm, which was great. All of us were in my car. They're all in the back seat like true gentlemen. Plus, I made them do that.
Boy, chivalry is not dead.
Chivalry is not dead at all. And we're waiting there. It's like 9:30. She's not there. I'm like, well, this is weird. Wait a few more minutes. About 15 minutes roll by. This dude, also in my dorm, rolls up in his big old truck, and she gets out of the passenger seat.
Oh.
And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Poor guy.
Yeah. But then she still proceeds to hop in my passenger seat. The guys in the back seat, they are just quiet. They're sitting there just like, this is going to be awkward. This is going to be great. I say nothing of it. We go to cookout. We have a great time. Drop her off. Again, chivalry's not dead. And as soon as she gets out of the car and we drive away, the guys bust out laughing.
Oh, of course.
So from that moment on, I knew this is probably not going to work out the way I want to.
Now, when she rolled up, was your mentality, I don't have a chance, or was it like, I'm going to win this? Like, did you double down and you're like, I'm going to try to impress her?
If I remember right, I think I did eventually try again. It took me some time to recover from the embarrassment of being with my roommates and my suite mates. But gosh, man, it was not a great experience. Like, it hit hard, but I was like, we'll try again. Like a few months later, or maybe not a few months, a few weeks later, I was like, all right, time to try again. Went back around to it, and she said, yeah, I'm just not looking to date anybody right now. I was like, great. Good to know.
Yeah.
Also talked with the dude that like dropped her off in the front. I'm like, bro, did you not know I was crushing on her? And she's like, no, I didn't. I was too. And I was like, great. This is going to be awesome.
Communication between the boys had
huge
fallen apart.
Miscommunication.
I was never brave enough to just come out and ask somebody out face to face, or let alone on I don't know if you would call the cookout thing a date.
It wasn't a date.
But so an integral part of my dating experience was AOL Instant Messenger. This was like when you still had limited texts. You didn't have unlimited texting, and iMessage had not been invented yet. And so that was like the primary. It was just text chat. It was just a messenger. And I just remember after months and months of liking this girl, I told her that I liked her on Instant Messenger, and she said, sorry, I have a crush on somebody else.
Ooh.
And I was like,
that's rough.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. When was this?
Sixth grade, I think.
Okay.
Yep. Which
early.
for me, where I went to school, sixth grade was still elementary school. So, yeah,
man.
It hurt, and I didn't do it in person. So that when she turned me down, I could cry about it, and nobody would see that.
Exactly,
it's horribly embarrassing for me, and I didn't want, I didn't want people to see me. Like if I ask her out on, we had this is gonna sound childish, but I remember it being very cool. We had really, really tall monkey bars at my elementary school that kind of came together in like an A-frame, and it was like I remember it being 50 feet off the ground. It was probably 5 feet tall. But I remember I thought over and over in my head, it's like, I'm going to ask her out on the top of the monkey bars. And she's not going to be able to resist. It's such a romantic, you can see the whole playground from there.
Yeah.
But instead, I chumped out and I asked her out over Instant
Online.
Messenger, essentially via text at the time.
Yeah.
And I got swatted down for it.
But you were alone.
But I'm a firm believer.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, though, that if you have the guts to step up and ask somebody out, like in person, like a lot of girls in particular, I don't know if guys are the same way. Girls will say yes if somebody has the guts to ask them out.
It relates to confidence a little bit. I have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
Has there ever been a time when you've done something kind of dumb to impress a girl?
So I was already dating this girl, which makes it slightly more embarrassing or unintelligent, whichever you want to call it. So we went, this was the girl I was dating at the time. It's my now wife. And we went to dinner. It was me and her dad at somewhere where I had pasta. So it was probably some Italian restaurant. Yeah. And after the dinner, after the pasta, bread, it was probably meat, meat sauce kind of thing. After that, we were like, the fair's in town. It's in the mall parking lot because that's the thing where I grew up.
Yeah.
The fair comes to the mall parking lot. And we went to the fair, and there was this, I don't know what you call the machine. Maybe it's a tilt-a-whirl. So it rotates, but your chair also goes up and down as you're rotating. And so the two of us were sitting in the thing, and we're spinning around, and we're going up and down. And I don't typically get motion sick, but after, 4,000 calories of pasta and immediately going on that, I was one of these, where your like eyes are big and you feel your mouth getting like just like a lot of saliva is building up. And I was like, here's the problem. Nobody else was at this fair. It was a slow night. And we stopped the ride, and there's like nobody else in line. And the guy's like, "You want to go again?" And my girlfriend looks at me. She's like, "You want to go again?" I was like, "I guess so." I could barely even talk. She's like, "Let's go again." She was so excited. Dude runs it again, and I am in crisis mode now because it's all of a sudden the 45-second ride has become 45 minutes in my head of just like, and you can't, they tell you when you get motion sick of like, keep your eye on the horizon. Well, when the horizon's doing that, you can't really keep your eye on anything. And then I felt it. I felt it right here, like right at the bottom of my throat. And then the ride finally, I hear it, and so we were just kind of doing this and slowly coming to a stop. And we're on the ground, and the guy looks at the line, and there's nobody in the line.
No, Jess.
and he's like, my now wife, girlfriend at the time, so excited. She's like, "This is so much fun." He's like, "Y'all want to go again?"
Oh, no.
And my man did me one of the greatest favors anybody's ever done me. He's like, "Y'all want to go again?" Looks at her and then looks at me. He's like, "No." I was as white as your shirt, like just no color, and was like quivering, and like a little saliva's dripping out. He was like, "Nah, y'all are not going again."
No.
And he got me out of there. I spent the next 45 minutes like we left the fair pretty soon after that, and I just in the back seat on my side, just like date was over, no more fun, no more jokes. I was just like, would somebody just send a meteor to the earth right now and kill me, please? Like I just
that is tragic. Oh my gosh.
But I'm not gonna wuss out.
Yeah,
she wanted to go again.
Yeah, you have to.
You got to step up and impress.
Yeah.
We do dumb stuff.
We do.
To impress people that we have crushes on and people we want to date. And then if you're lucky, you land one.
You get the yes.
Yeah. You hook one. So.
But then.
As they say, all good things must come to an end.
Correct.
So I'm wondering, because you and I have never had this conversation. I want to know about the first time you got dumped. Not the first time you broke up, but the first time you got dumped. And you had no say in the matter.
How early we talking here? Like, can I go way back?
We used like elementary school.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, let's do both. Let's do like I mean, unless you were emotionally devastated in elementary school, why don't we do like an elementary school one and like the one that
we'll pad it with some humor on the front end. Yeah. It goes way back, kindergarten.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, nothing really is happening, but you're like, this girl, she might be pretty. I don't know. I'm in kindergarten. I don't remember what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But me and this girl, like, we spent recess together or snack time together, and I was like, yeah, Kelly, she's my girlfriend.
And were you like me, where you're like, that's the one I'm going to marry?
Yes, actually. Yeah. I was like, yeah, Kelly's the one, locking it down from like age 5. But come to find out, like a week or two later, I come up to her and I'm like, hey, I'm so glad we're together, even though I'm not that articulate as a 5-year-old. She said, oh, I actually like the other Kacey in our class. Also, I was the only Kacey in that class.
Whoa, wait.
Yeah. So she straight up just lied to me, and I was like, and Kacey, I mean, back then, when I was 5, that's a girl name. There was no other Kaceys in my life or in my world at all. So I'm sitting there as a 5-year-old contemplating my existence, like, is there another boy Kacey out there that I don't know of? She broke my heart, man.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So what about the real one, the heartbreak?
Middle school, like, dumbs happen, but like none of them impacted me as much as the one I'm about to tell. It was high school. I was a sophomore. Like the relationship started almost as any. You're at Scarowinds. You or her get scared, mainly me, and so you just like go for the hand to grab it, and it worked. And we held hands after the maze and throughout the rest of the night. And then later, come back around, I'm like, hey, we should totally start dating. And she said, okay, I'm fine with that. So I started dating. It was actually 3 months to the day. And funny enough, we were actually at South Park. That's where we met. We met at church, and she said the famous words, we need to talk. Yeah. Even as a sophomore.
Words that instill
even
fear.
as a sophomore guy in high school, I'm like, I don't want to talk anymore.
I don't want to. I'm busy.
I'm sick.
You start making up reasons why you
She saw me serving with kids. I'm like, nah, I'm sick. Like, I want to get out of here. But she just comes around to me like, I just don't think we should date anymore. Like, it's not working out. I'm like, what happened? Like, we had a lot of fun together. Like, we had hung out simply enough. Like, it was still like where I was learning how to drive, so my dad had to be in the car with me, which was a little awkward timing.
Yep.
But like, movie and dinner, that's pretty simple for a few dates. Hung out with her family a bit, but out of nowhere, she just said, I think we just need to break up. And I sat there, about to head into like the 11 o'clock service, like, God, come on.
Oh.
Come on, man. On a Sunday? It was rough.
That sucks.
It was rough. What about you?
Okay, so the first time I got dumped for real, it was the end of my freshman year, and not unlike you, I was dating a girl who was 2 years older than me. Although she was a senior because I started early for my grade. So it's the end of the year. She's about to go to college.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, she made the right move.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good look to be in college.
She made the wrong move.
Right. She didn't end up with me. She made the wrong move. But she was going off to college, and she's like, I mean, I want a blank slate when I go to college.
Ouch.
And yeah, and that
hurts.
That felt like a knife in the heart because I've always looked at dating whenever I was in high school. I was like, this is the friend I like hanging out with the most. This is the person I trust the most. This is the person I wanted to marry any girl that I had a crush on in high school. And so she said, I want to start college with a blank slate. But what I heard was, I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Ooh.
I was like, ugh.
Oh, that is.
But then she was like, I do want us to still keep talking. Like, I want us to still be friends. I'm like, I don't want to be friends.
Yeah.
I want to be the bestest friends. And that's not what she wanted. And I mean, I didn't take it well. I was just miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like sobbing and stuff. She at least had the gusto to do it over the phone and not like via text or whatever.
Oh, true.
And I was not very dignified in my response. And then I was just miserable. I turned sarcastic and just bitter for a while.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that I was angry at her, I mean, that was one of the most formative experiences of my life. Like, tragedy shapes you
absolutely.
in one way or another. And And I realize like it's a little dramatic to call being broken up with tragedy.
Yeah.
But the first time you get dumped and you like care, like, it hurts. And I mean, I was miserable, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not interested in dating people anymore. I don't want to. I'm a lone soldier. I'm gonna be out here. I got my own back.
That's right.
You know, and then I met another girl who I liked.
Right.
And,
the quick turnaround sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't super quick.
Right.
But that next girl, I married that one. So like I'm 1 for 3.
That's not bad.
That's an all-star batting average.
That is great. I'd love to say that my record's that great, but unfortunately not.
Well, so kind of a 2-part question for the advice. What is your advice for somebody who wants to ask somebody out?
Ooh.
Let's start with that one. What's your advice? If somebody, because I would have crushes on girls for months and months and months and never had the guts to ask them out.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it worked out, but in hindsight, you're like, I wish I had taken some of those shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is your advice for somebody who...
Yeah. I know, like in high school and middle school, it was never like I have the guts to actually get up and do it. College was a bit different because I was like, if they say no, it's going to be a no. Yeah. But advice is just get up and ask. Man, that's a great question. I would say go in expecting a no. And if they say yes, then you're even more over the moon.
Low bar of expectation.
Yeah.
I like it.
Come on. Like, odds are they might say yes, which is going to be awesome. But if you go in with some confidence and say, all right, if they say no, I'm not going to be that hurt.
Yeah.
But if they say yes, it's like, wait, that worked out. Like, that's awesome. Like, great. I get to go on a date with this awesome girl or awesome guy. But I think going in with the confidence in yourself of saying, like, I believe this could work out, that would be super beneficial just on the front end. Because one of the things that I've learned is girls like confidence. And I would say guys like confidence? I don't really know. But from the other perspective, I don't know. I've honestly never been asked out. It was always just like expected for the guy to ask out. I know things have changed recently, but if you're going with confidence and also with the idea that if they say no, I'm going to be okay, then if they do say no, you can brush it off. Yeah. If they say yes, you can be over the moon and say, all right, let's plan a great date.
Yeah. And I think I don't want people to mistake what you're saying, because I think some people would hear that and think like, well, that's really depressing to think about. It's not. Yeah. It's I've heard it said, if you want to class it up or whatever, confidence is not expecting a yes. Confidence is being okay with a no. Yeah. Like you can hear no and it doesn't just ruin your life and you never want to ask anybody out again. Yeah. So just take a swing at it.
Go for it. And if they say no, like, again, it's not the end of the world. Like, you'll probably be down for a few hours, maybe a few days. But then, like, at the end of the day, there was a girl I asked out in college, different one, who also said no. And I was the dude that would avoid the person that said no because I'm like, I don't like awkward situations at all. But she invited me just to come have dinner with her and her friends. And now, like, she was one of my closest friends near the end of college. Because I didn't just sit in the fact that she said no. Like, we were still friends.
So be confident.
Yes.
And even if you're not confident in yourself, just do it. You will be amazed.
Yeah.
At
absolutely.
How much you would get rewarded for having the guts to just ask somebody out face to face. I would clarify.
Absolutely.
Not over text.
No. Not over Snapchat.
Not over Snapchat. Yeah. None of that. Just like face to face. Just say, like, hey, do you want to go grab dinner sometime? Something like that.
And if for some reason you can't do face to face, phone call over text every time.
Or FaceTime.
Yeah. That's a good word.
So what about for people who are struggling with if they asked out and they got rejected, or if they have been dating somebody for a while and they got dumped, or it for whatever reason broke up, dealing with rejection, dealing with the heartache, what's your advice there?
Yeah, I would say like the rejection isn't the end of just like your story. Keep going with yourself. Don't keep asking and persisting, because then it just gets way too creepy and you cross too many lines with that. But I know it's a cheesy line, but I mean, someone's told me before, like, rejection is God's protection. And looking back at past relationships for me that did not work out, I'm glad they didn't work out. It led me to find now the love of my life. Yep. I'm not saying that every turn and every relationship you have whether they work out or not, will find you the love of your life, but each relationship or each no that you get will teach you something valuable for your future marriage.
Yeah. I think I would say surround yourself with your friends.
Yeah.
Really often people start dating and then all of a sudden they ditch their friends, see ya, and they only hang out with the person they're dating for, and then if it goes on 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, whatever, years even, and then they're broken up with, they feel alone because they haven't been hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
So I guess that's partially relationship advice, but it's also breakup advice of like, don't totally abandon your friends when you start dating.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, surround yourself with them for whenever you get dumped. Because those are the people that are going to like pick you up and be like, hey, come on. This is not the end of the world.
Let's go out and do something.
It hurts, but like, and even though this sounds shallow, I think you need a distraction. Like from the initial like punch of it. Mm-hmm. So you just want to like buy yourself some time, because if you just like sit there and sulk in the pain of it, it's so much worse.
Downward spiral.
Whereas if you can, like go hang out, go see a movie, go bowling, go do whatever with friends.
Yeah.
And sort of some of that initial sharp edge of the pain goes away, and you can really start to like emotionally process it for what it is, and to start to get over it.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my advice.
Yeah.
I think that is probably a good place for us to stop
I would
today.
absolutely agree with that.
Thanks for sitting down
Of course,
at the round
man.
table. Love to have you back again soon.
Of course.
And for everybody watching and listening, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week backstage.